Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Finch with Sales Lead Management Association, the SLMA radio show, and our new broadcasting channel, SLMA Live. So check all those out, slmalive.com, SLMA Radio to catch these shows and all of our past shows, and our main site at theslma.com. That's THESLMA.com. And today I'm so excited. I have Jessica Dewell. And Jessica, you are the CEO and founder of reddirection.com. Her mission involves identifying, involving, and igniting the voice of your business, yourself, your team, building the influence with your customers, and connecting with them in inspiring ways. She has so many great ideas, and they're so far outside the box, and you just go, wow. Yes, I'll try that with you. And she has a way of electrifying a team and turning you into an online powerhouse. So without further ado, here we go. Jessica, welcome.
Thank you very much, Susan. I'm really glad to be here.
You can find her at Plus, Jessica Dewell, Dewell. So if you want to connect with her, that's the first place. But don't do that yet. Let's talk about our show.
That's right. Let's talk.
What we talked yesterday, there was a show that you did. All of us are so involved with networking online, connecting, building relationships, spouting our credibility, building our authority. We also have to remember how to be in person and how many networking opportunities we have that might not be obvious opportunities. I'm learning this, that our behavior is beyond just the dress up and go to networking events. And as a parent, sporting events, school events.
Everything, absolutely everything, Susan. And standing in the line at the grocery store, saying hello to people when you're getting gas in the car, when you're going to check your mail, when you're stopping at the bank, every single one of those places is an opportunity to make eye contact, to have a connection, maybe start a conversation, and you never know where that's going to go.
Some of I know, especially the women, they always get on me. You always have makeup on and blah, blah, blah. And I look at everything as an opportunity, and it puts me in a better attitude when I'm networking. I am usually on my best behavior, and if nothing else, it keeps me in check to learn to, when I want to spout something, it's like, wait a minute, that can haunt me. It might not be online, but it can still haunt me.
That's actually a really good point. My filter's not that good yet. But what is good is always having lipstick close by and always wearing a smile and having my business card somewhere in my pocket, because if I am at a sporting event or I am out with friends and we end up striking up a conversation with somebody else, or at a networking event, there's, somebody's going to go, well, how do I reach you? And nobody's going to remember when you tell them, because of all the other interruptions, because of all of the other opportunities. And that's really where we have if we have something we can give them, or they have something they can give us so we can take that online later, we're actually setting ourselves up to further a one-touch relationship into a multiple-touch relationship, and who knows what opportunities that will bring.
I've noticed too at events, because I'll connect with men and women, the parents, and there's some that I can relate to more the men than I can the women. But the men always have their business cards with them. And
yes, they do.
The women don't. And if they do, they have to fumble at the bottom of their satchel, if they even have them. Or they're looking for a scrap.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Why wouldn't you also take that bit of you, that opportunity, and have it with you, if for nothing else, just to be able to get together later for coffee, or to find another way that maybe you can help somebody else. But it's being prepared anytime you walk out that door.
Absolutely. Isn't the phrase, the world's your oyster, that way for a reason? And if we go out ill-prepared, we are missing out.
We're going to talk on a few things, but one of them is business cards.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the bad things on business cards, and some of the things you should make sure you don't forget on a business card. Mm-hmm. And I recently just redid mine because I was told they were a little cluttered. So I have two versions of my business card. I have the one that has every way to reach me, and then I have one, if I'm seeing somebody in person, there's a good chance that they're just an email or phone person.
Right.
They aren't, I connect online with people and they know how to click the icons and do all this stuff. But, you know, I was told that really you put a QR code, all your social media links and everything else on your card, and nobody has any room to write to make a note about you.
I know, exactly. Hey, do you have them? I would like to see it.
Here's the front.
Okay, let's see. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. With
So,
that beautiful butterfly
all I
branding.
have is a phone and a website.
Uh-huh.
And then the back got greatly simplified so that when the card's on its back, why would you miss an opportunity? Print both
Right.
sides.
That's right.
Who is going to know yours, even when you
Mhm.
put them in those fish bowls for drawings? So I added something so people them added to my mailing list.
Right.
So I have that through Constant Contact. So if they
Mm-hmm.
text that, I crafted a cute little message, thank you so much, do this, and then you're on my list. And then they'll receive emails from me. So that's a quick way to have them added without my having to do anything.
That's awesome. I'm totally going to steal that, Susan, because, you know, that's one of those simple calls to action. And I was trying to think, what could I put on mine to have a simple call to action? And mine is a very plain, straightforward card. It does have a lot of, it has all the regular contact information, what my address is, what my website is, how to get a hold of me, my email address. And then on the back, what I did was I drew a picture on a computer, and this is actually, you can actually see this on my website too. What I did was, the whole idea is, how can I depict what I do in a picture?
I love that.
How can I depict what I do in a picture and still have room for people to write?
But look how attention-getting that is, because it is an illustration.
Yes.
It's not a graphic. I mean, it looks hand-drawn, it's crisp, it's really simple.
And that is actually really, if you sit down with me, I take a lot of notes, I draw pictures, I do all of that stuff anyway, so that's really a reflection of who I am as well.
Well, here's an example of what not to do. Do we have enough going on?
No, I don't think so. There was still a little, there's about a ½ inch below LinkedIn right there. I do like your new card. It is very beautiful.
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay, so cards. There's one thing. Let's talk about passing out cards at networking events, guys.
Yeah.
We covered this yesterday in the show, and, you know, who are you? Are you the type that walk into an event and there's a group of people and you get your cards out? It's a networking event. This is a Mingle Chamber of Commerce type of event, or smaller networking groups. Are you the type that just comes up and starts shoving out cards? Hi, I'm, and you're just cramming them at people without ever looking them in the eye, asking them who they are, what they do, listening at all, and you almost just disrupt the entire group. And I bring this up because I've had this at several events recently, and I cringe. I'm really shy. And so to have people thrusting things at me when I don't even know who they are and they've interrupted my conversation, first I get ticked because it's rude and they don't know what we were talking about.
Yes.
And at that point, I don't know if I even would want their card, because if that's how they communicate, it's like, I got other people I want to talk to. So what's your thought on that?
I feel for people like that, because I don't know where they're coming from when they do that. If that's what they were told, if they really don't know how to start a conversation, or they feel like jumping in is the way to go. However, interruptions, we don't like interruptions when we're working. We don't like interruptions when we're with our family. We don't like interruptions when we're trying to have downtime. So if we're in a conversation and somebody just came and interrupted us right now, I'd give them a little bit of a sideways look, and then I would change my body language, and I would still talk to you, and then I would try and bring them into the conversation. But if they're already gone, if they've given me that business card, they've just dropped it off. It's almost like posting and running. Just don't do it. Just hand somebody the card, say hello, if that's all you get, and move on and do whatever you need to do, which I still think you should stick around for a conversation. We do agree with that, Susan. Right. But when somebody does that to me, I actually stick it on the bottom of my pile. And I have a pen because I write on my cards. I don't have shiny cards for that purpose. And then I make notes, and I'm like, this was a runner. This is a runner. And so I am not always good about follow-up. So what I've decided to do is, in my effort to follow up better from networking events, they get that little notation runner on the card, and then I actually will send them an email and ask them an open-ended question. Hey, we met at such and such. This was the conversation that I was having when you joined. What do you think about it? Or if there was a speaker at some point, what was the topic that what was your biggest takeaway? And if they don't respond, they go in the bin. Off they go. But if they do respond, then I'm like, okay, they just have poor networking etiquette, but they might be somebody that could just be doing a poor job and still have something really nice to share with the world and to have some value there. So I do give people an extra chance if they do drop and run with their cards.
Well,
but you're not quite like that, are you?
Not you. No, I'm not really. I value my time. When I get to these events, it's a range most of the time, especially at women's events, of people that have never had a business. The MLM people, you're working for somebody and you're trying, but it's all so new. Some of them I'm thinking about having a business, and then you have the more seasoned people. Mm-hmm. And I tend to, seek out and gravitate towards those just because I've been around. I don't mind doing some hand holding. They always give us at one event, they give us one question to everybody ask each other, like the icebreaker kind of question. And there are about 100 of us there. And so we're around little cocktail tables. There's music blaring, everything else. It's like a club setting. And the one icebreaker question at this last one was, tell me what gets you excited. And one person told me, she said, I am a representative of this new skincare thing and blah, 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 blah. And I heard it and I listened, and she was so scared. And I took a breath. I said, okay, we're going to play a game. I'm going to be you. And I spun it on her. I said, I love to have people excited when they look in the mirror because they know they look their best. And she said, well, that's what I do. I said, I know.
But that's not what you said.
Exactly. So, there's part of that happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's part of remembering to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Take a few seconds. And, and then there are those hostage situations I was telling you about where there's another event that I go to, and it's mixed, and it's a lot of CEOs and stuff, but I always seem to get captured.
And you know what that is? That's because we're present. People who are present at events, those people either dying for attention, we think we don't talk a lot and we're on the line all the time, and it's nice to talk to people, but there are people that apparently, like, they never get out, never ever, and they gravitate towards me too. And how do you get out of a situation like that, Susan?
I do.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is they don't ever listen or ask me one question.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And their stuff might be interesting. I am actually usually very interested, but there's a point, it's like, can I have a turn? So what I've done is, if I'm truly interested in talking to them, I would love to continue this conversation. We should make a time that we can visit later, because I need to catch up with a few more people.
Yes.
And that's the most polite way. Mm-hmm. And then I've had the ones that are just kind of sucking your time, and you're standing there and you're looking for any out. Well, I'm going to get a drink or something. Yes. I'll come too. And they're with you again. And it's like gum on your shoe. And you're like trying to get the gum off and scrape it off. And it keeps going. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go visit. Oh, I'll come too. It's like, oh my gosh. And so I usually try and gravitate towards another small group,
mm-hmm.
bring them over, and drop them off, and then
make
on to another group. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about the. I'm trying to be polite because there's just no reason to be rude. They're all trying to reach out somehow, and I appreciate that. But there's a point, it's like, gotta go, because I want to touch bases with several people.
Interrupt, and I will say, well, so what is your purpose at this event? Right? What is your purpose at this event? Because if they're the tag-along kind, and they're like, well, I'm here to meet people, I'm like, you've been talking to me. See you later. You might want to talk to some other people.
You should go meet some other people.
Exactly. What's your purpose? And your purpose. Oh, you don't have a purpose. Got it. Well, how about if is there something I can do for you? Let me write that on your card, and I will get that to you after this event. Those are some of the
great tips.
Those are two that I do. But I'm going to try the drop off. We're going to call it Susan's drop off.
Well, and that's it. I mean, are you folks one of those? Are you the ones that take us hostage? And if you are, remember, we're all there to meet more than one person.
That's right.
We're all there to connect or maybe even reconnect with somebody we didn't see since the last event. And we want to touch bases with them. So remember to free everybody. Free them up. Let them flutter around and visit others.
I love it, Susan. That's great.
Goodness.
Well, how about this? How about if you come up and talk to me and I pull out my phone?
Okay, can we talk about lunches? Holy cow.
Please, let's switch. Networking events, lunch networking / learning event. I know, right?
Okay, let's tackle each of those separately. Let's start with lunch.
Lunch.
You invited me to lunch. You wanted me to talk to you about something, and you wanted me to clear my schedule, not bill other people, not make any money for a little bit of time, to listen to you and your ideas and how we might collaborate. Doggone you if you bring out your stinking phone. When I'm sitting at the table giving you 100% attention, my phone's tucked away, and you whip out your phone because an important call came in. What am I?
That's right.
It's not nice. It's just not nice. And you've wasted my time and put me so low on the totem pole, I probably won't want to do much with you.
In my opinion, it's more than not nice. It's plain out rude, especially if it's a one-on-one lunch situation.
Yep.
And we won't be having lunch again if that happens to me.
The calls can wait, guys, unless you're, tell me ahead of time, hey, my kid's in an operation. Hey, my mom's sick.
That's right.
And I got to take this. That's her doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Or it's my doctor calling. Or I'll let you know, I'm expecting a call from my doctor. I have to take it. I've been waiting for 3 days.
That's exactly.
And excuse yourself. Get up from the table. Leave and take that private call. But don't make me sit there and have to be quiet, too.
Right. That's
while
right.
you're yammering on at a table with a whole room of people around you.
And I actually really like your comment. Get up and go take your private call. Excuse yourself. That is a huge, I think that's a huge thing, that if you have to take a call, I have to tell you, for me, and what if we were in a group of people, somebody takes that call and they're talking as they're walking out, drives me crazy. That is, I think that's the same level of rude in that case. And mobile phones, they're great, they're wonderful, but you've got me in person, you don't need to check out what I'm doing on Twitter.
No, we don't need to be connecting that way or anything else. Give me your card. I'll take care of that later. I'm with you. Right. Well, and I know that with learning events, I mean, a lot of us go to conferences and we have to, or whatever it is, and sometimes the speakers aren't so engaging, and you might be tempted to pull out Angry Birds or Candy Crush or something, but unless you're taking like real notes. Good grief, they're there, and not only did you pay for that, and that doesn't give you the right to be impolite, to be rude. They can see you that you are not focused on them. They can see all your distractions because they are up there and have this vantage point. You aren't fooling anybody, and all you're telling them is that you would rather be anywhere but there. And how does that make a speaker feel? Or you are an invited participant and you will behave as one and consider yourself on stage the whole time at that point. You are being watched by the host. You are being watched by your coworkers. You're being watched by your supervisors. And somebody will rat you out, for one thing. And you'll be known as the rude person at the events.
That's right. And the sad part is nobody will ever tell you that you've achieved that tag. You've been tagged that way. So here you know what I mean? I don't know, I wouldn't tell. If somebody tells me about somebody else like that, I'm like, oh, okay. But I would never tell that person that they've been tagged. And maybe I need to change that now that I'm saying it out loud, because I'm like, oh, somebody needs to tell them.
I tell
But
people.
that's the teaching moment, and it goes back to what you were talking about. At which point in time do we need to make sure that we're taking care of us and our priorities, and why are we taking the actions we're taking versus educating and helping other people experience or not experience something.
And that might be where the mom comes in, because I'm known to poke people, the teenagers by me in church, like, stop it. And it's, and their moms are like, hey, thank you. So, I get torn between that. There is a point that it's very distracting, or if I'm very protective of the speaker, maybe it's a friend of mine that's speaking, and I know how she would feel, knowing that was going on, or he would feel.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes I might say something just because I go into that protect mode.
Absolutely.
And so that I think, I get torn between that and just being quiet and not worrying about it. It's not my business. It's not my thing. It's just, my job is to be there and be present and do what I should do.
Right.
So, I know I get torn on that kind of thing because
I do too. It's really hard. Although if it's a speaker that I wanted to see, I'm more like I'll pass a note. Sometimes I'll be like, turn it off, and people will be like, and they hand, and they'll pass this little note right down to whoever it needs to go to. But realistically, whether you're paying money or not, I think it doesn't matter. You're giving time. If we take money out of the equation, we're giving time. And time is an incredibly precious resource. And if we're not using it in the moment, if we're not taking advantage of what that connection brings, then we really are missing out. And we are dulling the light. We are tearing down that person that we are with because we're not present with them. We're not there to build ideas. We're not there to have a conversation to learn something new. We're not there to do whatever role playing we need to do. And that is truly a loss. It's a loss for the person who is not present, and it is a loss for the person who is present that happens to be in that particular moment at the same time. And it takes a lot of, sass to be able to realize this, to actually be able to recognize that person's not present and then do something about it. And and that's actually that goes back to the self-love and the preservation of what are we doing? Why did we choose to come? And honoring that for ourselves and not having a balance and a boundary of not having to take care of others or tolerate things that do not support what we're trying to accomplish.
Right. I need to take a little break here because we go on for this, I think, for hours, but we can't. So let me take a quick break, and then we will be back with Jessica Dewell talking about networking with class, networking with thought.
Large companies with complex sales channels have sophisticated lead management needs. They require customized lead management systems and services and integration with additional systems. That's why, since 1981, these companies have relied on Smart Lead by AdTrack, the only full-service lead management company with customized systems for lead management, Salesforce automation, and analytics. These systems are managed by each client's dedicated account manager and are integrated with Smart Lead's in-house marketing services that include a contact center, email marketing services, print services, direct mail and fulfillment, and an ISO certified warehouse. Smart Lead by AdTrack. 3 decades of pioneering lead management best practices and systems for complex lead management needs. For more information, visit our website at smartlead.com.
All right, thank you so much. This is SLMA Radio. I'm Susan Finch, your co-host today, and my guest is Jessica Dewell, and she is the CEO and founder of reddirection.com, and we have been having a wonderful and very passionate conversation about not only polite networking, considerate networking, and the type of person you want to be regarded as a networker at events. You want people to look forward to seeing you there. You want people to be happy you're on their guest list. You want to make sure that you are the one that you want to be the one they want to have lunch with and brainstorm their next great idea that you might benefit from because they know you are present 100%. So we still have about 10 more minutes of this conversation. So we're going to keep it going. Jessica.
I'm just going to do my little dance. This is just... Wow. So networking. Well, we've talked a little bit about networking events, and we've talked a little bit about lunches, and we've talked about one-on-one interactions and some etiquette to consider and be aware of, and how do we take advantage of that, and how do we respect the time of others. What about a dinner? Let's say we're at a conference, and they have a dinner that night. And so it's networking, but it's also a little more formal. It has a different environment. Is that the right time to engage in active networking and be trying to continue doing what you were doing during the day?
My thought on that, this is the round table rubber chicken kind of dinner thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a time to get more personal. And then from there, it's not the put the cards in a pile in the middle of the table, ugly on the table. They've made this beautiful table. Why would you dirty it up with that to make it your opportunity, your desk for the evening? Let the event be the event. Engage in personal conversation. Get to know somebody. You know, what did they do before the event? Did they explore anything? Did they discover any place right wherever the event is? Was there any, you know, memorable thing they learned from earlier in the day at one of the sessions? And how can you bring that into a more personal, oh, well, that kind of ties in because I like, you know, this type of thing, or I'm reading this book. Bring that in. And if that engagement's there, then maybe during dessert, I would really like to talk to you later and connect. While you're all still sitting there, then you exchange it politely across the chairs, you know, but it isn't the deal the card out kind of event. And for those of you that think it is, I'm sorry, it's just not.
Well, and exactly, whether you like the food or not, the worst thing that can happen is you got your food in your mouth and somebody hands you a card and wants you to respond. I'm totally with you. And or what, you know, what's the conversation of the day? So if they were out in the city, I love to know, especially if I'm in a city I've never been to, what are the things that I should be doing? Where should I be going? Maybe even takeaways or expanding on topics that were talked about at the conference earlier in the day would also be good. But between card exchanging and stuff like that, cell phones also should just go away. I'm a big proponent of none of that.
Get far away.
Yeah.
But another thing, you know, is we're kind of running out of time, but let's talk about the end of dinner. Dinner's over, we're back in our rooms, we're unwinding, or we're back at home, you know, whatever the situation. What is a nicer way to say thank you to a speaker, to award nominees, to award winners, than to go mention them and their accomplishment or how they touched you or inspired you through social media that night while it's still fresh in your mind? Just a little pat on their shoulder that, you know what, you mattered to me today. You made a difference. You missed out on this person. And I learned about this person's accomplishment. And I learned about how they give to the community, or I learned the struggles they went through. And I'm a better person for knowing them, whatever it is that you want to say. What a great wrap up. And what a wonderful way to let people know who you are without shoving a card at them.
Yes. Because all the cards that you handed out during the day, what are they going to do? They're going to come check out what you're doing on your social media sites that you link to on your website, or if you happen to have one like Susan's old card, where they can stalk you right there. But you know, you make such a good point, and it's something that's often overlooked, and people don't think about it the next day, and then it's out of their mind and they forgot. And so what a beautiful way to show appreciation and continue that moment of presence by that acknowledgement.
Yep. So there's our challenge for you all. We have a few.
We have a few.
Put your phone away. Be present. Jessica, your turn.
Look me in the eye and don't run away, because I will try and engage you in that conversation, and you get a little tag on the business card that says runner if you give me your card and you walk away.
And continue the conversation after an event. Recap, promote, talk about. Be sure to acknowledge those that you went to listen to, the hosts, the winners, the nominees, the inspirational speakers. Acknowledge them and let them know they mattered. Think how you would feel after you put yourself out there, after you gave of your time to show up somewhere, whether you got paid or not. You don't even know what some of us go through before public speaking. And most of the people that get invited are so introverted. They have stomach aches, knots, and want to throw up before they get on stage. Thank them for not throwing up. No, thank them for whatever they share.
That's right. That's right. And every single piece of that shows thoughtfulness and presence. And that is what is going to attract people to you in that crowd when you're at that networking event to begin with.
Yep. So With that, we will both leave you. This has been SLMA Radio. My guest, Jessica Dewell, and I'm Susan Finch, your co-host. Check us out on slmaradio.com, and we will look forward to seeing you or having you see us again soon. Thank you so much.